On the war in Ukraine, U.S. President Joe Biden is dismissing Russia's threat of war over NATO's support for Ukraine.
This is a carefully planned statement by the Russian president designed to have that chilling effect.
The U.S. president met with UK PM Keir Starmer at the White House to discuss Ukraine's request to strike deep into Russia with Western missiles. The meeting ended without any commitment. Prior to that meeting, Vladimir Putin warned that that kind of strike would spark an all-out war with NATO. Joining me now is Inna Sovsun, a Ukrainian MP from Kyiv. Inna, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Your reaction to what the President and the Prime Minister had to say?
Well, of course, we are extremely disappointed with what we have heard. Just for the viewers over there, I will explain that just this night, over here in Kyiv, we had 4 air raid alerts. So that means that my phone blared 4 times and I heard some explosions in the city. And that unfortunately has become very daily reality for all of us over the last couple of months with the intensifying attacks into the civilian cities, into energy infrastructure. And then living through that and hearing that it's still not the time, we still have not decided on whether to strike into Russian territory. It just pains me to hear that, because the truth is that there is no way, there is no scenario in which we can win without undermining Russia's capacity to attack. What we're doing now is we are intercepting their missiles and their drones on our territory, but it costs a lot. And it also, with the new supplies of the Iranian missiles to the Russian army, this will likely be ongoing for a very long period of time. At the same time, if we were allowed to destroy the Russian airfields from which they launch those attacks, then there will be a real chance that those attacks and the terror that they inflicted on our cities and villages, that will actually stop. So this is as simple as that. There's not much debate. It doesn't seem to be like a very complicated decision to make.
Would those be the only targets, though, or is there the possibility this could expand further into Russia?
Look, we have never wanted any piece of Russian territory. We have never wanted to take over any Russian cities or towns. We never wanted to target civilian population in Russia. The only things we want to do is to make sure that their capacity, their military capacity, is undermined. And those are the single targets that we are targeting, those that can actually inflict military pain into Ukrainian territory.
And what about Vladimir Putin has said this will draw NATO in, this will be a full-scale war if this happens?
This is what he's always saying. He said that when tanks were provided. He said that when the discussion about providing F-16 was being held. He said that when the decision by the Americans to allow to hit into Russian territory around Kharkiv region was taken. What is the principal difference between targeting areas around Kharkiv or other parts of Russia? It's not a matter of principle, it's just a matter of distance. So it shouldn't be that dramatic a change, and we shouldn't be intimidated by what Putin is saying. What he wants to say is what he's always doing. He's always doing that. He's always saying the same, but the West keeps on pretending that it still matters, but it doesn't. And the West could have stopped this terror that we are living in through many months ago if we were allowed to really fight back without fighting with one hand tied behind our backs.
What options does Ukraine have right now?
Well, the options that we do have is to increase our own production of weapons, and we are doing that actually quite successfully. We are producing lots of drones. We are targeting the infrastructure inside Russia. I believe that was also noticed. We are targeting their oil refineries. We are targeting their military bases. It's just that if we could do that on a larger scale, then it would really make a huge difference, and then probably this will all stop. So the only option we do have is to continue the fight. Otherwise, we don't really have much option. The question is how long this fight will continue, and that really depends on the supply of weapons and the use of weapons that is being supplied from our Western allies.
Okay, Inna, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Inna Sovsun is a Ukrainian MP.